Hey, what is up, YouTube? Happy Tuesday. It's a beautiful day here in southeastern South Carolina. It's about 69 degrees as I'm recording this video. I just wanted to take some time today to talk a little bit about Clemson and Georgia Tech coming up this Saturday at 12 o'clock in Bobby Dodd Stadium. I will be in attendance, and I'm looking forward to it. But it's been really interesting over the past few days to see the different types of fan reactions to the Clemson and Troy game, and to an extent the LSU game too. And it seems to be most fans, at least on social media, the ones that I follow or see post, and on YouTube, are one extreme or the other. It's like burn everything down, the sky is falling, fire Dabo Swinney, Cade Klubnik sucks, fire Garrett Riley, fire the towel boy, whatever. And then you have the guys that, say everything's going to be fine. Nothing to see here. So it's like one extreme or the other. I am, of course, am somewhere in the middle. Does Clemson have a lot of problems that they need to fix? That is clear. But this is virtually the same team that played last year and the same offense. In fact, we added some pieces of the offense. Now, we did lose Phil Maffa. Hey, where are you going? No, my cat's trying to get outside. Go inside. Don't do that. We did lose Phil Maffa, which is obviously is a big hole to fill with a bunch of inexperienced running backs. So running has been an issue. We saw the running game pick up finally in the second half of the Troy game. How much of a gauge can you take from that? It's Troy. I don't know. They weren't able to run the ball. Well, I say they weren't able to run the ball against LSU. They only had 30 rushing yards, but they didn't really try to run the ball against LSU. I mean, you had eight or nine carries by running backs in that game. So I think that's key to this game. Well, there's a lot of keys to this game. Let's start with Georgia Tech. Let's do that. Now, admittedly, I do not know near as much about Georgia Tech as I do Clemson because I'm not a Georgia Tech fan, but I do have friends that are Georgia Tech fans, and they give me some information here or there and their input on this matchup. The obvious key to this game for Georgia Tech to win this game is defensively is to make Cade Klubnik uncomfortable, because he hasn't looked real comfortable in most of the time he's played this season so far, outside of one or two quarters against Troy. So they need to make Cade Klubnik ineffective, uncomfortable. He's known to make bad decisions of recent when he's in trouble. So they need to do that, and of course they need to shut down Adam Randall and whoever they decide to put back there at running back. I think it's going to be Adam Randall. I think most people think it's going to be Adam Randall. If they were going to use Easy E or Gideon Davidson or Keith Adams Jr., they probably would have already done it by now. But it seems like they've made a decision that Adam Randall is going to be RB1 and he's going to take the majority of the carries. So that's the key for Georgia Tech defensively. The key for Georgia Tech offensively, everybody knows this. It runs through Haynes King and to a lesser degree Jamal Haynes, the running back. That's a hell of a 1-2 punch when it comes to a ground game. And Clemson in recent years has been known to struggle with mobile quarterbacks. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't even think most Georgia Tech fans are completely sure about the health status of Haynes King. This is really interesting to me. He's had a nagging. He hurt his shoulder a couple of years ago. And from what I'm gathering from this is a permanent injury. This isn't something that you can that he can completely heal from. As a matter of fact, my good friend Rec Talk, who's going to the game with me, Georgia Tech guy, told me that Haynes King will never be considered 100% for the rest of his career because of his shoulder injury. He said 85% is probably about the best you're going to get from Haynes King. But when he's at 85%, he's pretty damn good. I still think he's very limited in his ability to throw the ball, especially downfield. And I don't really think that Georgia Tech, I'm not an expert on their wide receiver core. I think they got a couple of good wide receivers, but I don't think they're like a real super threat throwing down the field. So the key for Clemson defensively, the key for Georgia Tech offensively is the same. So Georgia Tech's going to have to Clemson's going to have to find a way to corral that running game by Georgia Tech. Haynes King is an absolute monster with his legs. It's scary. And like I said, that seems to be Clemson's sort of Achilles heel on defense. So that's the key there. Defensively, I'm sorry, offensively for Clemson, got to get the running game going. That's it. It's amazing the things that can happen when you have a balanced offense. And this is something that's really been frustrating this season so far, and even some points last season. I made a million videos. I do the State of the Fan Address video every Sunday after a Clemson game. And if you go back and watch those State of the Fan Address videos following some of the frustrating games early last season, I was saying the same thing. I was like, why is Phil Maffa only getting 10 carries? Why is Phil Maffa only getting 12 carries? And I'm going to say the same thing about Adam Randall. Is Adam Randall Phil Maffa? No, he's not. But Clemson's best years offensively, I mean, clearly Clemson had generational quarterbacks, a couple of them. But even with like Kelly Bryant, they had a balance. They were one of the most balanced offenses in the country when it came to run versus pass. It was almost 50-50 split. And I'm not saying it needs to be a 50-50 split now, but this whole thing where they're playing 7-on-7, basically, drills, and just throwing it, 80-90% of the time, that's not effective. And any defensive coordinator that's worth his salt is going to sniff that out and corral you and cause problems for Cade Klubnik. Also, the Dinkin and Duncan, I know this isn't just a Clemson thing. This is an epidemic, really, across all of college football. You don't see it as much in the NFL. The bubble screens, the little short passes behind the line of scrimmage, all that. It's just, is there a place for those plays? Yeah, but that can't be the majority of your passing game. That's ridiculous. I don't really know if we have a middle of the field threat like we had last year at tight end. But we need to try to do that too. But my point is, we need to take some shots downfield. All we heard all offseason was how we've got the best wide receiver corps that we've had since 2018, 2019. We've got guys with speed on the outside. We've got big guys with speed on the outside. There's no reason we shouldn't be taking more shots downfield. They did do it in the second half against Troy, and they had some success doing it. I think it goes without saying that if you get Antonio Williams back in this game, he helps the offense a lot. But that's not an excuse. With the amount of talent we have at wide receiver, one guy going down should not change the outcome of a game necessarily. But having Antonio Williams back it would be a huge plus. I don't know the status on him. It's only Tuesday. I don't know if we'll know whether Antonio Williams is playing until later in the week or what. The cat's still trying to get out. Don't do that. So anyway, this is a huge game for Clemson. This might be a bigger game for Clemson than the LSU game was, simply by the fact that it's an ACC game, and the LSU game didn't hurt Clemson in that matter. So this is a must-win. I mean, I hate to say in week 3 that a game is a must-win for a team, but if Clemson loses this game, starts the season out 1-2 and 0-1 in the ACC, season probably is pretty much over. I mean, no team is really completely out of it in week 3, but your chances of even making it to Charlotte at that point drop drastically. And also, I mean, just the overall vibe around the team would take a huge hit. So Clemson needs to win this game. I don't care if it's by 1 point or 50. They need to win this game bad. This is a huge game. So I'd like to hear all of you guys' thoughts in the comment section. I think I already know what some of you are going to say is, Clemson sucks, Pete, just get over it, whatever. And some of you will say the opposite, like, hey, we're going to beat Georgia Tech and we're going to go 11-1 and be the 3rd seed in the playoff. But give me your honest opinion on this game in particular. What are you looking for as far as matchups? And can Clemson's defense corral Haynes King? Thank you.